Does anybody out there read me?
Patrick, we got to talk about one of the most wild stories I have read in the world of TV news in quite some time. Reading here from Deadline.com, Peacock folds on Poker Face Season 3.
Boo.
Rian Johnson wants 2-season deal with Peter Dinklage as lie detector sleuth Charlie Cale. If that was barely comprehensible to you, join the club. I agree. All right. Here's the story from Deadline.com. Peacock has decided not to renew Poker Face for a third season. Natasha Lyonne exits as star, but series creator Rian Johnson, his T Street partner Ram Bergman, MRC, and Lyonne think that there are many mysteries ahead for the show's signature character to solve. Last night, they began an effort to shop the show to other broadcasters for a 2-season commitment. The shocker, Peter Dinklage will take over the role of Charlie, the sleuth whose superpower is an innate ability to detect liars. Deadline confirmed the plan and got this statement from Johnson and Lyonne, latter of whom stays aboard as executive producer. We've been germinating this next move together since writing the season 2 finale. We love our Poker Face, and this is the perfect way to keep it rolling. Give us a beat, and we may just see Charlie Cale again down that open highway, end quote. Man. So, first of all, we should mention, Patrick, I don't think you've seen most of Poker Face. Is that correct? Or any?
No, I saw the pilot for the first season, but I didn't continue past that.
I've watched all episodes of Poker Face season 1 and 2. Wonderful show. Heavily inspired by shows like Columbo. Does honor to those shows with a new twist. Every episode it's an anthology series, basically. So every episode's like a new cast of characters, and Natasha Lyonne's in this new situation, and she needs to solve like a new crime. It's a delightful show. If you love movies, if you love murder mysteries, if you love procedurals, you will love Poker Face seasons 1 and 2. And at the same time as that's true, it was very obvious from watching the show that Poker Face is an extremely expensive show to produce. Every week, it's a new setting. It's a new cast of characters. There's often very like somebody dies every week. So there's like some action-y elements for every episode of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was always a question of whether, but there's amazing talent, like Academy Award winning actors and director,
Rian Johnson's just going through the Rolodex. Like, hey, like, come on through.
So it seemed like a lavish show to make, and it kind of spawned out of the streaming bonanza when people were making as many shows as possible. So it was always questionable whether the show could continue. And Peacock has said, we're not going to continue making the show. Okay. So that's already a bummer. But then it's interesting that it's paired with this other news of Rian Johnson and Natasha Lyonne saying, hey, guys, it doesn't matter that Peacock's not picking up the show. It doesn't matter that Natasha Lyonne doesn't want to play the main actor anymore, because Charlie Cale is now played by Peter Dinklage. And there's a couple of observations to add to this. Number one, there have recently been in the news many stories about over at Disney of they're saying, hey, we don't know how to make a Ben Solo movie. Spoilers for Rise of Skywalker. We can't make a Ben Solo movie because we cannot figure out how Ben Solo is alive. Like, how can we make a Ben Solo movie, The Hunt for Ben Solo, if we don't know how Ben Solo is alive?
Somehow Ben Solo returned?
Spoilers for the James Bond film No Time to Die.
Oh, I saw this.
There was a Radar Online story where people were saying...
this story. I don't believe
you don't believe the story.
But I don't believe this story.
But people reportedly have been saying, we can't figure out how to continue the James Bond franchise because if you don't know, James Bond dies at the end of No Time to Die. And so how can we possibly explain that away? And, many people have pointed out that makes no goddamn sense, why people would have a problem with that, because it's not like you go to James... Whenever there's a new James Bond, you don't go in and be like, that guy is the guy that was in Goldfinger.
Let me go to JamesBondCanon.com and get up to date on where we're at with old Bondy.
Yes. It makes no sense at all. But anyway, point being, people cannot figure out, like, how are we going to do this? Meanwhile, Rian Johnson's just like, Peter Dinklage is Charlie Cale now.
There'll just be a wipe and then we go to the other character.
It's like how you watch a movie that's in a different language, like Russian, and then they're talking, and then it overlaps with English, and then the rest of the movie's in English. All of a sudden, Charlie Cale's talking, like Natasha Lyonne's talking. Cut to Peter Dinklage is Charlie Cale now.
Sure, why not?
Wild, Patrick, wild. I mean, I know you haven't seen the show. I have more thoughts, but I've already been talking for quite a while. Like, what is your reaction to this? Because even somebody who doesn't know the show can probably understand how insane this plan is.
No, yeah. I mean, I was shocked that it got a season 2. That honestly, not as a reflection of the quality of the show. Just
Right.
Poker Face seemed like it got greenlit, came out at the tail end of the the splurge of
Yes.
high profile creative, given a lavish production, go make your little, I've always wanted to do this thing. And the idea of having Rian Johnson off of Knives Out making like an episodic little mystery show. Yeah, sure. I can see a lot of appeal in giving that a shot. But if you look at like Peacock's lineup, if you just go to peacocktv.com and look at what are the shows they're promoting and are popular on their service, it's true crime. It's reality shows. Like, there is a market that those shows are cheaper to produce. The audiences are more predictable, and Peacock has spent a bunch of money on sports. I pay for NBA League Pass, and then I always get supremely annoyed when it's like, hey, I know you paid hundreds of dollars to get access to every NBA game. You don't get this one because you have to go log into Peacock. And what I say is, I won't. And I just don't log into Peacock, and I don't watch that basketball game.
Damn. Sticking it to him, Patrick. Sticking it to him.
Yeah, they're really upset. They know when I take a stand.
I heard about that. Yeah, they mentioned it last time.
I didn't want to brag. I don't want to make it seem again on my soapbox there, but it just doesn't line up with what Peacock is doing anymore. But it's clear.
I mean, you say that they did just have that Sarah Snook drama come out.
Yeah, I'm not going to say they're not going to take shots, but I think
Her Fault is the name of the show, by the way. Yeah.
But that is a different scale of shot than what Poker Face is a very indulgent, in the best way possible, show. And I'm not shocked that Peacock wants to get out of that business. But also, it's clear, like when Rian Johnson talks about the show, it means a lot to him. And so him doing this like splashy pitch, like kind of pseudo publicly to try and get some sort of bidding war or at least interest from another streamer, I'm just not sure where that, if Netflix wanted it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure they're already in the Knives Out business. Kind of sounds like Netflix said no. Like, so this kind of seems like you're trying to fish a Tim Cook or somebody else to be like, hey, oh sure, yeah, we'll bring Rian Johnson under the Apple umbrella. It doesn't make me super optimistic about Poker Face's chances if this part is kind of being done in public. I don't know if you feel any differently about that part of it.
The one thing that all makes sense. That's all very logical what you just said. I think the one thing that's curious about this story is that Natasha Lyonne is not going to be the lead of the show. Like,
too busy making AI movies,
She's too busy making AI. She's directing a movie called Uncanny Valley, which apparently has quote unquote ethical AI along with other traditional filmmaking techniques.
When this news broke, a lot of people were like, "Oh, that sounds really cool." Also, the AI girl gets out of it, like win-win.
I assume Natasha Lyonne just wanted to do other things. Like, that's kind of
TV's a big commitment.
TV's a big commitment. She's like, hey, I have other things I want to do. I have AI movies to direct. I have other things I want to do. And so
I know AI is supposed to make that faster. Why can't I do Poker Face and put my movies into a prompt? But I just can't.
At the same time, like I saw people speculating on like maybe was there some rift between Natasha Lyonne and Rian Johnson because of AI, because of other things. I don't know that I buy into any of that. Because Natasha Lyonne was intimately involved in the show. She was an executive producer. She directed episodes of the show. Like, it wasn't just like it's just a day job. She shows up and punches the clock and goes home.
No, even in that quote, I mean, I guess we can't know the full extent of the process, but she's alluding that like she was involved in the writing of like the finale or crafting ideas for it. So this is somebody who, is more than just showing up to set and reading her lines and going to the right blocking point. Like, this is somebody who's deeply involved in the show.
Absolutely. So I agree that like there's some options out there, including Netflix and Apple. But I don't know, man. Like, it feels like when you are a streamer and you are you're revitalizing a show like Arrested Development. One of the reasons you do that is because you're bringing along all the fans from Arrested Development that were there before. If you're replacing the lead of the show, not only the lead of the show, but like the linchpin of the show. This is not like a lead where it's like one of the characters from Friends or whatever. Like where you lose one of the characters, you could conceivably still make this work. Like or ER. This is like the show does not work without this character. So when you're replacing that character with a guy who is enormously talented, but nonetheless, I think we can all agree is very different in appearance and style from the previous actor, then it feels like a much less appealing proposition if you're the streaming company. That said, I am really in support of this because I just want to see what would happen. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd also love if they could actually commit to the like. I don't really buy that. Like the plan when we conceived of Poker Face was the 2-year anthology series. Like I think
I do not buy that.
I think this is a pivot, but it's a cool pivot.
Yes,
and I would love, in my ideal world, and if they announce this, then I'll commit to catching up on Poker Face. I'd love if like whatever. Let's just say Apple, just because they seem the most like. They have the least to lose by just splurging on things by the nature of like how the company is built. Hey, we've signed a deal with Rian Johnson to produce like 4 more seasons of Poker Face. So we're excited to announce like it'll be and they actually commit to the rotating actor bit in sort of a Doctor Who sort of fashion. Don't come up with a lore reason for it. Just it's just the same name and the same setup, but a really interesting new actor.
Well, isn't there a lore reason in Doctor Who though?
That's what I mean. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I don't
yeah. Don't
Natasha Lyonne to like step into
a transmogrifier.
Whoa! I fell in a pit of acid and came out as Peter Dinklage. I mean, he was in Toxic Avenger, so we do have some setup for this.
So true. But yeah, you do allude to that. I don't know if I mentioned this, but yeah, he does. His hope for the franchise is to make it so that there's a new actor who will play the lead character every 2 years. I
think that's awesome. If you made that part of the pitch.
Right.
I could actually see how that could be like a cool way to refresh the show over time. Where
I think it actually makes a lot of sense in a sort of Hollywood industry environment right now where committing for more than 2 years to any project is a lot. Like things are changing so fast. It's like in 2 years, is there even going to still be a Peacock? Like open question, right? So it's like, does it make sense to commit to more than 2 years of anything? And so I do like that as a concept. It does feel a little convenient that he's mentioning it now, but that's as you said, it's probably a pivot. It's probably not what was originally intended, right? Maybe there's a scenario where Poker Face is renewed for season 3 and Natasha Lyonne still wants to do it, and they probably would still be happy doing it. But apparently season 2 was one of Peacock's most watched series, but the show is expensive and the ratings were down a bit from a first season filled with critical raves and Emmy nominations. End quote.
I heard no discussion of the second season, sort of just anecdotally in the kind of cultural conversation. Like I know people were enjoying it, but whereas the first season felt like an event, the second season, and it's okay if just a show becomes a, every other year, like not talked about, but like just quietly has its audience. My guess is the cost of the show. It's like, hey, we need people to talk about, like, if it's not going to make any money, people need to be talking about like, oh man, did you know that Poker Face is on Peacock? And it kind of, you get the sense that maybe that wasn't happening with the second season.
I will say what is very sad about that, Patrick Klepek, is if you are a listener to Decoding TV and potentially the Dave Cheniverse of podcasts, you will love Poker Face season 2. Like there are so many references that are explicitly designed for somebody who is a fan of this podcast. And things like a character is really against motion smoothing on televisions, as an example, and brings around a universal remote to turn it off in TVs he encounters out in the wild. And that's just one of like many, many things that film geeks and TV geeks would love. So it's sad that the show has down ratings in season 1, but season 2 was a delight, Patrick, and I do hope you check it out. Hey everyone, David Chen here. Thank you so much for watching that video from Decoding TV. If you want to get an audio version of the show, all you got to do is go to podcast.decodingtv.com. And if you want to support what we do, get ad-free episodes of the podcast and also bonus episodes of the podcast, go to decodingtv.com and become a paid member. Of course, you can also like and subscribe for more. We appreciate it. Thanks. See you later.